Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss two phases of simplex method. In our previous videos we have looked into cases where we were dealing with less than equal to sign, and by introduction of slack variable, which is a non-negative number, we were always able to reduce our systems of equation in canonical form. However, when we are dealing with greater than equal to or equality constraint, we often end up with a problem that getting canonical form is not that straightforward. So we will try to understand this with help of an example, and here we will use an example of equality constraints. That is, the problem remains that we have to minimize f of 2x1 plus 3x2 plus 2x3 minus x4 plus x5, and hence our decision variables are x1, x2 all the way till x5, and it is subjected to two equality constraints. One is equal to 0 and another case b is equal to 2. As we discussed in simplex method, all our bi's have to be greater than equal to 0, so this condition is satisfied. We have to make sure all our xi's are greater than equal to 0, which is also specified in constraints, and our problem has to be in canonical form. Now, to begin simplex method, third requirement is not met. So we will start to identify how we can bring this system into canonical form. To do that, we will introduce two artificial variables, and we will represent these artificial variables by y1 and y2. So if we introduce a artificial variable as y1 here and 0 y2 here plus 0 y1 here and y2 here, we have said that we have introduced y1 and y2 as two artificial variable in each of these equations. Now one thing is that since y2 and y1, they have to be also greater than equal to 0. What happens if they are strictly greater than 0? That would mean if we add any positive number to equation 1, this equation 1 would lose the sign of equality, and hence it is violating the condition, because this is stated to us that this equality constraint has always to be followed. So one thing is for sure, that y1 plus y2, they have to be equal to 0. Also, y1 plus y2 minus w implies that our w has to be equal to 0. If and this can only happen if both y1 and y2 are equal to 0, because y1 has to be greater than equal to 0, y2 has to be greater than equal to 0, and sum of two non-negative numbers can be equal to 0 if both of them are equal to 0. So we will, this entire situation that we have created here is called as the phase 1 trick of simplex method. So we are saying that we are introducing two numbers artificially, and at the end of iterations of simplex method, we will show that these two variables are indeed equal to 0, and if they are not equal to 0, that would mean we cannot satisfy both these constraints simultaneously. So this is why it is called as the phase 2 phase simplex method, whereas phase 1 deals with establishing feasibility, and it also gives us entry point in canonical form. The second phase of simplex method deals with the optimization, and this is what we have already discussed, the various operations of simplex method, that once we have started from canonical form, how to go for an optimal solution. Now what we will do, we will write these equations as 3x1 minus 3x2 plus 4x3 plus 2x4 minus x5 plus y1 equal to 0, and in second equation we will introduce y2, and now you can clearly see that we have a canonical form about these y1 and y2. And also by now you must have realized that the variables by which we have canonical form, they should be our basic variables to begin with, because if we set everything else to 0, x1, x3, x4, x5, 0, then our first solution becomes y1 equal to 0 and y2 equal to 2 immediately, and that is why we are reducing it to canonical form. Now in addition to the constraint that we are already, in addition to the objective function that we are already given, which is the minimization of 2x1 plus 3x2 plus 2x3 minus x4 plus x5 equal to 0, we also have introduced another objective function. This is we introduced by trickery, by magic, that y1 plus y2 minus w should be equal to 0. And As I said, w equal to y1 plus y2, and for w to be 0, y1 and y2 has to be 0. So what we will do, we will draw a demarcation line between our two objective functions that we have introduced, and to get rid of this y1 and y2 from these last equation, what we will do, we will add this 1 and 2 and subtract it from 4, which we have written by this trick. So our reduced system effectively becomes that these two equations are constrained. We are not going to touch them other than introducing y1 and y2. Our equation 3 we are not going to touch, which is our original objective function. But our equation 4 essentially becomes 4 minus 1 plus 2, because we have introduced y1 and y2 here. So if we subtract this y1 plus y2 from the last equation, which also has y1 plus y2, they will automatically get eliminated, and we will get all these entry variables in form of x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5 without any interference of y1 and y2. Now once we reduce this system to this form, that after applying this transformation, what we will begin with, we will begin with our tableau calculations. Now mind it, if we are given, let us say, instead of 2 constraints, we are given 5 equality constraints, we will again still do the same thing, because idea is we will always write then this as y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus y4 plus y5 minus w. Then we will add these first 5 equations and subtract it from our equation that we have written by trick, so that our last equation is always in the form of x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and so on. Now what we will do, I have already prepared these tableaus for you, because I have already told you the updation rules and so on, and this will also give you an interesting practice problem to work upon. So but when we say that phase 1 begins, what we will do, we will write our basic variables, which are y1 and y2, and we will write all the coefficients that we have in our original constraints in this tableau, and we will calculate these ratios later on. Then we will draw a demarcation line, and we will write minus f as well as minus w, and the coefficients that we calculated or ended up in this reduced 4 equations after doing the necessary 4 minus 1 plus 2. Then what we will do, instead of focusing on minus f, we will first focus on our equation which is set up in w. So we will not worry about this at this stage, but we will focus on a minus w equation. So we will decide an entry variable and exit variable. So in this case, you clearly see that our entry variable would be the one which has highest negative coefficient. As I have mentioned, we are dealing with the problem of minima. So we will select this minus 5 as entry variable. There is a tie between x3 and x4, and we can break this tie arbitrarily. So if this goes in, our column with x4 becomes our pivot column, and then we will take the ratio of b with the elements in pivot column. So this becomes 0 divided by 2, this becomes 2 by 3, and based on the lowest value of this ratio of BAI, where AI has to be greater than, not even equal to, AI has to be greater than 0, we decide the exiting variable. I am writing this with this transparent pen because we have already discussed these methods in detail when we were talking about simplex method. So this will go, that would mean now we will highlight this as our pivot row. Now what we will do, we will reduce all the elements outside pivot rows and pivot columns, which include these blocks, by applying 3 rules, that outside pivot row and pivot column, EI is EI minus pivot column pivot row divided by I. Pivot row elements would be divided by the intersection element, which happens to be 2 in this case, and pivot column would become 1 at this place and 0 everywhere else. So after applying all these calculations, we end up with the second tableau, where we replace y1 by x4 and our y2 remains as it is, because that is what we had before, and we have updated all these coefficients into our second tableau. Now again we will see that who should be our next entry variable and who should be leaving. Here we have a coefficient of minus 5.5. At this place we have coefficient of minus 2.5. So it is very clear that x2 should enter, and once x2 enters, we again calculate the ratios. Here bi was 0. 0 divided by negative quantity is not allowed. Because we said that AI has to be greater than 0. Since AI is less than 0, we will not calculate this value and say that this is not defined. And hence we are only left with one choice of exit variable, which happens to be y2. Now it can happen that all the coefficients in this row becomes negative. That would mean you would never be able to eliminate y2. And if that situation arises that neither y1, either y1 or y2 are not getting eliminated, we would say that the solution to this system is infeasible. And that's it. The problem stops here. That means that it is not possible to satisfy all the constraints at the same time, and hence we cannot proceed ahead with the solution. But in this case, we are good. We can exit this, make this one, and make x2 enter. And as soon as we do that, we end up with the new tableau with x4 and x2, and updated coefficients look something like 6 by 11, 0, 7 by 11. We get 1 and 0 here, 0 and 1 here, 2, 11, 5, 11, and so on. So you always see that our system is always in canonical form if we start from the original canonical form. And this should answer your question that why we always prefer to work in canonical forms. And now you clearly see that what happens here is that all the value of the solution of W would correspond to this. W is equal to 0, y1 is 0, y2 is 0. That means our magic has worked and solution is feasible. As soon as we establish that, what we will do, we will say that our phase 1 of simplex, it has terminated. Now we will move to phase 2. What we will do in phase 2, we will use the same tableau that we ended up with and bring it here. And we will write that now phase 2 begins. To begin phase 2, what we will do, we will remove this equation that we introduced by trickery, and we end up with the another form, a canonical form. And now we will use the coefficients of f to decide who should be the entering variable and who should be the leaving variable. In this case, this is pretty straightforward, that this should be an entry variable. If this is an entry variable, we can calculate this coefficients as 6 by 2, because we will highlight this, take the ratios, this becomes 4 by 5, smaller of these should leave, so 4 by 5 should leave, and hence x5 would enter the basis and x2 would leave. Now this would progress ahead as a simplex method as we have learned, and in next iteration you would see that once you solve for x4 and x2, and after making all the necessary calculations, which I will leave up to you, the value of x4 would come out to be 2 by 5, value of x2 would come out to be 4 by 5. After updating this tableau, coefficients of f comes out to be 21 by 5, 2 by 5, 5, 0, 0, minus 2 by 5, which implies f min should be equal to 2 by 5. And from here, once we enter into simplex phase 2, this is exactly the replica of processes we have discussed. So with this, we mark our end of discussions on topic of two phases of simplex method, and be it greater than equal to constraints or be it equal to constraint, you will apply same kind of method to reduce your systems into canonical form, and first of all get rid of the artificial variables you have introduced. Once you have gotten rid of artificial variables you have introduced, we will proceed with the simplex method in business as usual. Thank you.